1918, a white plantation owner by the name of Hampton Smith was found murdered by the age of 25. Smith was known for abusing and beating his workers, and for bailing people out of jail, and having them work off their debt in his fields. Immediately drawing an angry crowd, the plantation workers of Hampton's property, also known as Old Joy's Place, were targeted at once. Within the list of 13 suspects was a man named Hayes Turner. Born in 1892, Hazel Hayes Turner was a 19-year-old farm laborer who was married to a young woman named Mary Hattie Graham. Taking her married name of Turner, Mary was 8 months pregnant at the time of Hampton Smith's killing, and the couple knew all too well about the dangers they now face for simply being black. Within just 3 days of Smith's untimely death, Hayes Turner was one of many who were captured by police and arrested as a suspect. Little did Turner know that a plantation worker named Sidney Johnson was already being looked at as the main suspect, not Turner. Sidney Johnson, a black man working to pay a legal fee for rolling dice, confessed to killing Mr. Smith during a quarrel about being overworked. Police officers killed Mr. Johnson in a shootout. Hayes Turner was questioned and kept in county jail for further investigation. That was until the sheriff decided Turner might be more safe from the town's angry mob if he was taken to a neighboring city and held in custody there. County Sheriff Wade, who was accompanied by a court clerk, removed Hayes from his cell and headed toward the town of Quitman. Hayes never made it. At some point, Sheriff Wade stopped the vehicle en route as a mob of 40 white men blocked the road. They snatched the prisoner out of the vehicle and handcuffed Turner was led into the woods where he was hung by the neck in a tree. His body was left hanging from the tree over the weekend and not cut down until Monday. When it was finally cut down and his corpse was buried no more than 50 feet from the tree where he was murdered. Already distraught over the arrest of her husband while she was pregnant and close to her delivery date, Hayes Turner's wife Mary was traumatized the following day when she heard her husband had been lynched. Without a doubt, Mary knew that the persons responsible hid their acts behind the shine of a sheriff's badge, and in her despair, 19-year-old and 8 months pregnant Turner publicly denied that her husband had anything to do with the murder of Hampton Smith. She demanded that those responsible for her 19-year-old husband's brutal murder be charged with that crime. She denied that her husband had been involved in Smith's killing, and threatened to have members of the mob arrested. Enraged by this, the mob turned against her, determined to teach her a lesson. Although she fled, Mary Turner was captured at noon on May 19, one day after the lynching of her husband. The crowd showed no mercy as they put their deranged plan into action. First, the crowd of white mobsters took her to the bank in Brooks County near Folsom Bridge. A tree hung just over the water on the banks, and that's where they decided to throw their rope. Mary Turner was tied and hung upside down by the ankles, her clothes soaked with gasoline, and burned from her body. Her belly was slit open with a knife like those used in splitting hogs. Her unborn babe fell to the ground and gave 2 feeble cries. Its head was crushed by a member of the mob with his heel, and the crowd shot hundreds of bullets into Turner's body. Mary Turner was cut down and buried with her child near the tree, with a whiskey bottle marking the grave. Although local officials were given the names of instigators and 15 specific participants, no one was ever charged or convicted of the murders. A historical marker memorializing Turner was placed near the lynching site and dedicated on May 15, 2010.
Top of the morning, man. Top of the morning. You know who it is, who it should be, man. AKA J Cass, better known now as who? Trucker J. This is what I mean about we the dumbest race on American soil, man. Like moving from the north to the South and learning the bloody roots, the filth of what these pilgrims did to our race, man. You know, up north, we face racism, but they hide behind it. They won't give you that job. They won't give you that opportunity. They won't rent you that apartment in the nice part of the hood. But then I came down bottom 10 years ago, and I started to learn what our people been through. Mary Turner. I just found this out at 49 years old. Right here in Georgia, like maybe 2 hours from where I'm at right now, and I'm in Noonan, Georgia, getting loaded right now. 2 hours from here. Back in 1918? You heard what they did to her husband. And just because she stood up for her husband like any black queen would do, they lured her to the woods. They took her. They brought her in a rural area in the woods, threw a rope over a tree, hung her upside down, doused her clothes with gasoline. They burned the clothes off her first. Then they took one of them things that they cut pigs open with, sliced her belly. Yeah, pay attention, black man. Sliced her belly, and the baby fell to the ground. Gave out 2 cries, and somebody took their heel and stomped the baby's head in. And the reason why it was so easy to stomp the baby's head in, because the skull is not fully developed. It's fragile. And not only that, they all loaded up their guns and emptied out their clips in her body. This is a black sister that they did this to. So for 400 years, these gangsters on American soil, and yes, I call the Pilgrim gangster, because they tormented another race, meaning us. They didn't torture their own race like that. They hung. When you put the word lynching, you put blacks next to it. You don't put lynching and white folks. They didn't do white on white crime. They lynched our black ass. 400 years. Then we became free. Then it was segregation. Jim Crow laws. Can't go to the same bathroom. Can't drink from the water fountain. They had us drinking the nasty water. All the other lynchings they did to people. All that blood on their hands that they got away with, that they never, Emmett Till. It's so many stories, black man. At the click of a button. See, when I was coming up, we didn't have this social media where you could just click on something and learn the dirty history. You had to be there or hear about it. And guess who's narrating all these stories that happened to us? 300 people, black people bombed on American soil. Not napalm bombs, but like Molotov cocktail bombs where they burned the whole town down. Look up Tulsa, Oklahoma. Black man. 1921. Black man. 300 black people killed because a man bumped into a white female in the elevator, and she claimed he assaulted her. Make it make sense, man. Of course, I get the green light when I'm trying to tell this story. Make it make sense. But yet, we here assassinating ourselves in every hood in America. Make it make sense. These people puppeteered your dumb ass. Self-genocide. And that's been going on since the early 90s. Black on black crime, crabs in the barrel. And now we have all these stories that the white folk is narrating, telling on themselves, dry snitching. At the click of a mouse. I mean, a click of a mouse, a click of a fire stick, or a what's that other, a Roku remote, all you gotta do is click on the story and learn the filthy history. So who's your real ops on American soil, black man? Who you really should be mad at? How many times these people gotta piss on you for you to learn who the real ops is, and now they get to sit back and laugh at your dumb ass because you're killing yourselves? Make this shit make sense. That's why we the dumbest race on the planet. Not me, because I know who the real ops is. When I was in the streets, I was about getting money and take care of my family. I wasn't about going to war. I went to war if I had to, if I got violated. But this young generation, y'all stupid, because the real ops is sitting back laughing at you. Oh, Becky, look at these little niggas. They out here killing each other every day in every hood in America. We don't have to put the white sheets on no more, Becky. Let's just sit back and eat popcorn and turn the news on, Becky. Make it make sense, man. That's why I got my family out the hood. And I see why a lot of these people, when they get money and they remove themselves from the hood, and now I'm forced to live around the enemy that really don't want me in that neighborhood. But they don't mess with my stuff. They don't violate my land. They don't come by my house. But if I was living around a bunch of us and I had the little bit I got, you'd be trying to kick my door in and rob me. Make it make sense, man. We the dumbest race on the planet. It'll never change. I'm almost half a century come January, Lord willing, and I don't think it'll ever change before I leave this earth. Wake up, stupid mother.